Away from that to the latest developments coming in from Syria. Russian army has said that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's forces have halted their offensive unilaterally in the Idlib province. On the contrary, human rights organizations have said that the government resumed airstrikes last weekend. This comes after shelling and rockets fired by the regime allied with Russia during the day. 6 civilians lost their lives in those strikes. The province of Idlib, with a population of over 3 million, is one of the few areas deeply entrenched by the jihadi terrorist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Syria has already stepped into the 9th year of its civil war. It has killed more than 370,000 people, and more than 22 million people are in urgent need of humanitarian assistance. The civil war came post the uprising of the Arab Spring in March 2011. Our West Asia Bureau Chief Daniela Pagani is joining us live from Amman in Jordan for more on this story that we're tracking. Daniela, first up, talk to us in terms of what is the latest you're hearing about this purported ceasefire in Syria.
Yes, the Russian forces have declared a unilateral ceasefire, guaranteeing that the Syrian government forces will stop to attack, to bomb, to strike rebel positions within the governorate of Idlib. We can confirm, though, that through sources on the ground, we know that in the morning, at least in the first half of the day today, there were continuous strikes from the government forces against rebel forces within the Idlib area. This is not necessarily a violation of the ceasefire. Remember that in the history of ceasefires, there was no ceasefire that actually took place in the moment when it was announced, and particularly so when it involves non-state actors such as the rebels who are in control of Idlib. There is no clear chain of command and communication within the rebel groups active in Idlib, so it might take some time for them also to stop counter-attacking when the Syrian government attacks. But nevertheless, there is a ceasefire which has been declared by the Russian forces, the major ally of the Syrian government forces, and these could spare a lot of suffering for all the 3 million civilians living in Idlib.
Right. Daniela, also tell us, we've been talking for a while about the complete military decimation of the Islamic State, and this battle for Idlib has been going on for a really long time now. Are you seeing a conclusion to it anytime soon? If so, how soon?
It is hard to say. If we are to go by the words of President Vladimir Putin of Russia 3 weeks ago, he said that he does not see a large military operation taking place right now. But you know, inside Idlib there is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, as you pointed out. This rebel group is very powerful. It can count thousands of militiamen, and it is linked to al-Qaeda. There are also other rebel groups under the influence of Turkey which can be dealt with without a military offensive. But the question is, would any country in the world allow a group like Hayat Tahrir al-Sham with very deep and strong links to al-Qaeda to have a headquarter within its own national borders? I don't think so. And also the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, has made it very clear that sooner or later time will come for Idlib. The problem is that, along with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, there are 3 million civilians living in Idlib, which will eventually bear the brunt of an enormous military operation, which seems, as of now, the only solution on the table.
Our West Asia Bureau Chief Daniela Pagani getting us that report straight from Amman in Jordan. Thank you, Daniela, for joining us.